A brand new poll from the Pew Research Center is showing something dramatic with how Americans view religion. So CBN's Billy Hallowell, what's the find showing?
Yeah, this is interesting. We're seeing more people say that religion is gaining influence in culture, and fewer people saying that is losing influence rather in culture. This is a big thing here because right now 68% still say, okay, religion is losing influence in culture, but that is actually down from well over 80% who were saying that not that long ago. Actually, in 2024, 80% said that. We're down to 68%. So something is changing in the culture. People are seeing faith more positively. They're seeing faith actually make change in American culture. And for so long, this was on the decline. People were saying, I'm not a Christian. I'm not religious. I don't really know what I believe. And now we're watching a shift there as well. So really some encouraging movement here.
You know, there's another thing in this article, and it says this. In 2025, 58% of U.S. adults said there is a great deal or some conflict between their religious beliefs and mainstream culture, up 10 percentage points from 2024, 16 points from 2020. A great deal of conflict between their religious beliefs and mainstream culture. Now, I'm guilty of, I think, what the church did in the past 10, 15, 20 years. We tried so desperately to be relevant. We tried so desperately to be cool, where it's almost you walk into a church and it's like you almost have to like look around for a little bit to be like, is this a club or a church? And we tried really hard to kind of like masquerade, or it's like, hey man, welcome to the spot. And it's like, wait, is this the church? And I think we pushed that boundary so hard that there was almost no distinction. And I think what's happening now is there's the redistinction, there's the reawakening of like, what are we hiding? Why are we trying to tote this line of like, oh no, we're not in, we're same. And it's like, listen, we're same, and that we're creating the image of God, but our beliefs, what we stand for, our principles are not same. And so to me, I think when the church is just becoming a little bit more bold, and not in an arrogant or disrespectful way, but like, this is what the Bible teaches. This is what Scripture teaches. You know, we did another segment today about Charlie Kirk. I mean, he was unapologetic. I mean, this is what a biblical worldview says. This is what a biblical understanding of X, Y, and Z is. And I think two things. One, I think that is actually a good thing. But I think our generation, us old, millennials, we tried so hard to be relevant. I think now what Gen Z wants is like, dude, just say it. Just give me the raw information. Like, what are you trying to communicate? What is your the things you're pushing? And I think that's actually a really good thing. And that is why this is helping this grow, because people don't want the facade. They don't want to feel like they're being sold. They're like, what does your worldview sell? What are you trying to push? And if what we're quote unquote selling is Jesus, man, just as the famous idiom goes, just unlock the cage and let the Lion of the tribe of Judah roar. He doesn't need the facades and the smoke screens and the lasers. And when you let the Lion of the tribe of Judah just go, man, something powerful happens. So I'm encouraged, Billy, but I'll give you the last word.
I co-sign all of that. I think the other thing is when you say in a society, well, we're not going to have any viewpoint, there's no perspective, you can't have any real opinion here, you end up having an opinion. There is a perspective. And what has happened is that secular humanism filled that void, and it really pushed things so far. And I think it shattered people. It made people say, wait a minute, okay, I can look the other way over here, but on these issues, I can't. When you're putting, biological men in women's restrooms, when you're doing all these other things, we really sort of jump the shark. And so again, you end up at this point where you're saying, well, wait a minute, maybe religion does have a positive influence, because without it, we have all of this, moral chaos that is going on. And so I think both things were happening, everything you just described, and then secular humanism sort of pushing in on morality and ethics in a way that people couldn't tolerate. And I'll tell you this, just as we close, One of the other numbers in this Pew Research, 59% of U.S. adults expressing a positive view of religion's influence on American life. That is almost 6 in 10 Americans saying, you know what? Faith has a positive role. And they were either saying that religion's influence is growing and that that's a good thing, or that it's declined and that is a bad thing. And so that is a good number. We want to see that go even higher. But 6 in 10, I'll take it.